All right, so I'm going to use some of the even problems on this page here that you have for homework to review with you and help you remember what you're doing here for factoring and things that you're supposed to be thinking of. And then your job is to do the even problems. I'm sorry, your job is to do the odd problems. So, you know, just watch. You can skip ahead if you already know how to do something. I'm not going to do all the problems on the right side, but I'm just going to use them. All right, so you can notice here, the first 4 problems on this page, like up to about here, are kind of easier because notice that they have no leading coefficient besides the number 1. So what I mean by that is that this part here, you see these beginning parts here? Oops, come on, highlighter. All right, this part here. Do you see how this has a 3, 3, 3, so many 3s? This has a 2 down here. But these only have 1. So that makes it a lot easier. So that means that all you have to do is think of numbers that multiply to the last item. So things that multiply to 20, like 5 times 4, 10 times 2, or 20 times 1. And then all you have to do is think of ways to make this 1x in the middle. So the only pair here that I see could possibly add or subtract to 1 will be 5 and 4. So I'm going to say x and put a 5, x and put a 4. So now that I think I have my match, I'm going to go ahead and test it out. This is 4x, this is 5x. Well, if I do positive 5 minus 4, that's how I'm going to get a positive 1x. So I know that this is a plus and that's a minus, and I'm done. I still have my negative 20 on the end. All right, same thing for number 4. I have a 6 to make. So I got 6 and 1. I have 3 and 2. Well, the only thing that can make a 1 in the middle is a 3 and a 2. So I'm going to go and place my 3 and place my 2, and then I'll go and decide. This is 2x. This is 3x. So if I do positive 2 minus 3, then that'll get me to a negative 1. And it just so happens that one of these signs in the last 2 problems was positive and the other one was negative. You could have 2 positives or 2 negatives. You just have to see how it works out. Okay? All right, so let me look at number 6. Number 6 is harder because, you need things that multiply to 40. So you got 8 times 5, 20 times 2, 10 and 4, 40 and 1. All right, and you have this 3 here. So you notice none of these things that I wrote down, none of these pairs add up to 34. So that's because the 3 in front is going to help you. So let's see how that would play out. So I got 3x and x. And here, all my signs are positive, right here and right here. So I know that these are all going to be positive. That's the one time that I know where things go. Actually, there's another time, but we'll talk about that later. All right, so let me just start trying things. Let's try 8 and 5, and you want to use a pencil here because you got to see if it works out. So let's see. I'm sorry, yeah, 8 and 5. So let's say I put 8 here, 5 there. Let's test it. This is 24x. This is 5x. 24 and 5 have no hope of making 34 right here. So I do not want that. So I just have to go and try something else. I had 8 and 5, so why don't I switch it? Maybe 5 here and 8 there. Well, that doesn't help because that's 15x, and now this is 8x. So 15 and 8 do not make 34. So I'm done with 8 and 5. So how about let's try 10 and 4? Because a lot of times the bigger numbers don't really work out. So let's, 10 and 4 is still relatively small. So I think I see now that if I put my 10 on the end, see how that's going to make 30? And put my 4 here, I start to see, oh, 30 and 4. There we go. They're both positive. They make 34. 4 times 10 is 40. And we're done. All right. So number 8. Number 8, there's something that's going to help us out a little bit. 3, 29, and 18 have nothing in common, so I'm ready to go. Start my problem. I have to have 3b and b to make 3b squared. All right, so 18. I'm going to make my list for 18 over here. I got 9 times 2, 6 times 3, 18 and 1. One of these pairs is actually dead to me because I cannot put anything in this spot that 3 divides into. So 6 and 3 goes into both of those. So I cannot use either of these things in that setup. So I'm done with them. So let's try 9 and 2. So remember, nothing can go here that 3 goes into. So I can't put 9 there. I have to put my 2 there. So 2 and 9. Let's try it out. So this is making me a 27b. This is making me a 2b, and I think I got it because I need negative 29. So if these are both negative, it'll add up to negative 29. So there it is. And negative 2 times a negative 9 is still positive 18. All right, let's try number 10, and then one more, and also 12. These are the harder ones on the whole page a little bit. All right, so number 10. I'm ready to go. 3, 17, and 6 have nothing in common. So 3b and b. I don't know why these are all 3s. Sorry about that. So for 6, I gotta make 6. So I need 6 and 1 and 3 and 2 are my pairs that I could try. So again, I cannot put anything here that 3 goes into. So if I'm going to use 6 and 1, then I can't put the 6 there. I have to put the 6 back here. And then I have to put the 1 there. So let's try it. Oh, I lucked out. This is making me 18b. This is making me 1b. So 18 and 1 could make negative 17 if I do a positive 1 minus 18. So plus here, minus there. 1 times negative 6 is still negative 6. I'm all set. All right, last one, number 12. So number 12, you're lucky everything's positive. So actually this is one of the times when you can go ahead and put pluses. I got 2b and b and pluses. All right, and also I'm lucky because 7, the only thing that makes 7 is 7 times 1 for this back end. And notice right here, I would not be allowed to put anything that 2 goes into right there. But, 7 and 1, 2 doesn't go into either of those, so it doesn't really help me. All right, so let's try it. So if I put a 7 here and a 1 there, I'm getting 2b and 7b. That does not make 15. All right, so let's try and switch it around, because those are my only options. So as you get better at it, maybe you knew that I wasn't supposed to put that there. I was trying to show you the wrong way. So if I put 7 here and 1 there, as you get better at it, you'll start to see it. You see this is making 14, and this is making 1. So that way, if they're both positive, then you get 15 in the middle. All right, so now we come to a little section of perfect squares. 13, 14, 15, and 16 are all perfect square problems. There's no centerpiece. The middle piece is missing, and the first number and the last number are perfect squares. These are differences of perfect squares because the difference meaning is a subtraction problem. All right, so I'm going to start breaking it up. 36, I think of square roots. I put 6x here and 6x there. And for 25, I put a 5 and a 5. Now the reason for the signs is I need a negative 25. So one of these 5s has to be positive, one has to be negative. And the reason for that also is because this part makes a negative 30. This part makes a positive 30, which makes my middle term cancel. And I'm done. All right, for 16, now you're getting this extra little part right here. So that's fine. Just like we make an x squared, we're going to make a y squared by splitting it up. So I'm going to break up the 25 and put 5x and 5x. I'm going to break up the 4 by putting a 2 and a 2. And since there's a y there, I'm just going to stick a y with each one. All right, and I need a negative 4, so one has to be positive, one has to be negative. And notice what's happening. This is negative 10xy. This is positive 10xy. They cancel out, which is why there's no middle term. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to do a couple of these here at the bottom, and then I'm not going to do all of them because I don't want my video getting too long here. Let me see. I'm going to do 22 and 18. All right, so these you notice everything's huge, like b4, b to the third, b to the squared. Well, that's because all of those have a b in common, and I can take some of these things out. So these all have greatest common factors. They all have a GCF. So I will have to take a 3 out, because these all divide by 3, and b squared. They can all handle me taking a b squared. So that's my first step. So I'm not even really doing this kind of factoring up here. So taking out 3b squared just leaves me with a b squared here, minus 6 divided by 3 is 2, so 2, and I have a b left because 3b's minus 2 is 1, minus 45 divided by 3 is 15, and the b is gone. So now that I've taken the 3b squared out, this looks like problem number 2 or number 4. It's just a very simple, easy problem of what multiplies a 15 on the end and makes 2. Well, I think I got it if I use 5 and 3. All right, so my final thing, I leave 3b squared alone, and I start breaking up this other part. So we're going to have b and 5 and b and 3. If I look at it, I'm getting 3b and 5b. So if I do positive 3 minus 5, that makes my negative 2 right here. So I will do a positive here, negative there, and that's my final answer. That whole thing, this right here, is my final answer. And notice, you cannot get that final answer without this in-between step. So don't come to me with your homework and you jumped from here to here. I'm going to know you didn't do it because, frankly, even I struggle to do that. Even I couldn't do that. So, all right, so get your work in between done. All right, this last one. When I look at this last one, 20, 36, and 8, those all can divide by 4. So I'm going to take out a 4, and they all have an n in common. So 4n is coming out. So that's going to make my problem easier. Well, in the front, 20 divided by 4 is 5, and there's n squared left because I took one n out. 36 divided by 4 is 9, and there's an n left because I took one out. And this 8n, 8 divided by 4 is 2, so minus 2, and the n is already out there. All right, so this is a hard problem, but it's easier because the 4 is gone and the n. So 4n stays, and I just got to think about breaking that. So it's kind of like I don't even think about the 4n anymore. And luckily, the 2 on the end is not hard to make. So let me start by putting 5n and n. So 2 and 1. So let me try it. 2 here, 1 there. And you might be thinking, no, because you can see it already. But this is 5n, this is 2n. That does not make 9 in the middle. And hopefully you can see that I probably wanted my 2 in the back, because that would make 10, and my 1 in the middle would make 1. So if I put 2 back here and 1 there, you see how that makes 10n and 1n. So if I make plus 10 minus 1, that way I get positive 9 in the middle. So plus and minus. So again, you need both of these steps. This one right here is your answer, and that 4n has to be out front. But to get that answer, you have to go through this step to be able to get there. Okay, unless you're some kind of super genius and you can skip ahead, but okay, so show that work. And so your job is to do the odd problems, and I will see you in class. How about, let me make it a little shorter for you. How about you can skip 19, and let's see, how about you can skip, oh no, not that one. How about 11? And also 7 if you want. Okay, make it a little shorter since my video ran long. All right, I will see you in class. Bye-bye.